welcome back to my channel. Today I have a super cute wedding DIY video for you, and I'm gonna show you how to make 5 items for your wedding that I kind of wish I used at my wedding. They're super cute, they're super fun, and best of all, they're easy to do and affordable. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started. So this first DIY up is a beautiful wedding welcome sign. I was in the IKEA as is section and found this returned cabinet door for only $7. I picked it up and thought this would be perfect for a standing welcome sign, but you can totally use a simple acrylic or glass frame from Michaels. I then went ahead and went into Photoshop and just mocked up what this design could look like. I wanted it to say, "Welcome to the wedding of Dalia and Parth," and then the date. I initially mocked this up in blue, but then I went ahead and wanted to see what other colors I could use. This is the beauty of this project. You can totally customize it to whatever your color scheme is, and I picked green in this instance. So to start off with writing out the words, I'm using a Sharpie paint marker, giving it a little shake, and then starting off with a welcome at the top. Just a little tip for writing words that you want to be centered: start with the center of the word, and that's why I started with the C, and then work on the left and right side from there. Once I'm done the first outline of the welcome, I'm just going ahead and thickening up those letters so they're a little bit more bold. And I'm continuing on with the wedding of, and then I'm freehanding Dalia and Parth using the initial mock-up as a guide. And then once I'm done that, I'm literally just going through and thickening up all the different letters. For Dalia and Parth, it's drawn in cursive, and so typically for cursive or calligraphy, you'll notice that downward strokes are thicker than upward strokes, and so I'm just mimicking that as well as I'm filling in the different letters. And as you can see here, it looks great as is. The next thing I'm going to do is just flip over the frame and add on some green paint to make a background. I just mixed up this green color. It's not perfect to my mock-up as is, but you know what? I'm actually moving and I was in a rush, and so I just mixed up whatever I had. So you really want that paint to be opaque, and I probably did about 5 coats of this paint in order to achieve that. I ended up switching to a sponge brush about halfway through because this is actually way easier and lays on the coats much thicker. And voila! Here is the final welcome sign. First off, we're going to make a little sign. I printed out some nice text that says "Kiss, Cheer, Toss," and this frame is 5x7 from Dollar Tree. I'm just figuring out the exact size for the paper, cutting it out, and placing that in the frame. Ideally, you'd actually have the glass insert to make it look extra nice, but I was using the glass for another project later on in the video. You'll just see. Obviously, if you're doing this in real life, you will keep the glass and put that in to the frame as well. Next up, I'm using this really pretty vintage sheet paper music I found online as an image, and I'm gonna link that down below. All you need to do is paste it full size in a Word document and then print it double-sided in color, selecting custom range 1,1, and this is going to print it perfectly double-sided. When it comes out, it'll have a white edge from where the printer couldn't reach. I'm just trimming the edges of that off. I wanted to make 2 cones per sheet of paper, so I'm folding the paper in half and cutting it at that point. Then, to make each piece a square, I'm folding it once again diagonally and cutting off the excess. It's totally okay to guesstimate with this, and by the way, if you have one of those industrial type paper cutters, that works great as well. Next, to make the cone shape, I'm placing a small piece of double-sided tape at the top corner and rolling the opposite corner over until it looks good. Make sure that the bottom of the cone is completely closed. And you'll actually want your cones rolled even skinnier than I did so that they won't fill up with too many rose petals. This is really going to keep your costs down. Now onto the rose petals to fill the cones. Making dried petals is great because you can have them ready well in advance of your event. Here I'm actually using roses that are well past their prime, and that works too. To depetal them, just hold the stem in one hand and with the other grab the top and rock it from side to side. You'll notice right away that all the petals are coming off super easily. Lay the petals in a single layer on parchment paper. Make sure that no petals are overlapping, otherwise it'll be super soggy and they will not dry at all. Bake at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes or until the petals are crisp. Once they've come out of the oven and they're super dry and crisp, you're going to want to store them in an airtight container away from moisture until your special day. When you're ready to fill up the cones, just go ahead and place some rose petals right in there. Next, grab a fancy basket. This one was only $4.99 from the thrift store, and place the cones inside. And guys, that's it. Your wedding toss kit is ready. So to start off with this one, I'm just taking some of the greenery stems from that bouquet of roses that I had. I don't even know what pieces of greenery these are, just a variety of different leaves. I'm mostly pulling off the little leaves because I found that those look the cutest. I've taken two 5x7 frames from the Dollar Tree and I'm just removing the backing and the glass from both of them. In the end, I'm going to be working with one of the frames and both pieces of glass. Basically, I'm just laying down the different pieces of greenery and arranging them facing me in a way that really looks pretty. I'm kind of playing around with the different sizes here and the different pieces that I have just to see what's going to look the cutest, and as I mentioned earlier, the littler ones totally looked the best. So I went back and this is pretty much what I landed on. Once you're all set on the design, just place the other piece of glass over top and then flip it on over, being careful that none of the leaves fall out of place. And place that back into the frame. Now just close those little clips. I actually needed to use pliers just to kind of bend the clips back around because now the pieces of glass were a little bit thicker. Now I'm just taking my trusty Sharpie paint marker and drawing out some numbers. In this instance, I've drawn out 1, and like I mentioned before with cursive writing, we're making the downward strokes thicker than the upward strokes. So I'm just kind of creating an outline here, and then I'm going back all over the whole word to thicken up the whole thing and make the whole thing a more uniform white color. Guys, I love this one so much. It's so easy, but so pretty. Lean it up against a pillar candle on the middle of your table, and it just looks gorgeous. So for this next DIY, you're going to need some wood sticks, and to be honest, I planned to do this project for a video last June when it was summertime. So here I am last year going into the forest finding some sticks. You just want to make sure that the sticks you find are pretty straight and that they don't have too many bumps. Next, I'm just going ahead and cutting the sticks into 3.5-inch sections. I'm using a pair of wire cutters actually to just score around the edges and then snapping them, and it snaps super easily. I'm then using those same wire cutters to just cut off any little bumps that there are, grabbing a hot glue gun, adding a little dollop on either side, and sticking the sticks together. Next, I'm just using some twine from the dollar store and wrapping it around either end, and then securing it with the hot glue gun once again. I went ahead and printed some name cards on cardstock, super simple and affordable. And then I grabbed some real eucalyptus and a faux greenery leaf and added those on as well. And guys, this is the cutest little name card I've ever seen. I love this so much. So next up, I have another version of a name card, and to be honest, this was totally a fail, so I almost wasn't going to include it, but I think this is a good option just to give you some ideas. So for this, I grabbed a succulent planter from Michael's. It was $3, and my trusty, or not so trusty in this instance, Sharpie paint marker. And I'm just going ahead and drawing out a name using some loose calligraphy. Now, usually with these paint markers, you can totally wipe them off, either just with paper towel and water, or you can kind of go over a section that you've drawn on and then wipe it off after it's wet, once again with the paint. And in this instance, it was a total fail. The paint kind of soaked into whatever material was used on this succulent planter. And when I went back over it and tried to wipe it off, it literally just took off the faux wood paint, I guess. But if you can find something else that's super cute, maybe at a dollar store, I think this is a really great idea because it could totally double as a favor as well as your name card. Okay, so I just love those DIYs so much. If I had had those ideas for my actual wedding, I think I would have done them. I think they're just so beautiful and so cute and will really just add to the experience of having a more unique kind of wedding for you and your guests. So highly recommend it. Try those out. Let me know down below which of the 4 DIYs was your favorite, and also if you end up doing any of those DIYs, please feel free to tag me. On Instagram, I'm at DIY Dalia with an underscore at the end. That would mean so much to me. I love when people share their wedding DIYs with me that come from my videos. It honestly brings me so much happiness. If you like this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below. Let the algorithm know that, you know, it's a good video to watch. And also make sure that you're subscribed to me on this YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm really trying to grow my Instagram, you guys. I have about 2,000-ish followers, and that was an accomplishment for me. I know that might seem low, but like I'm honestly really trying to grow it. So if you could follow me over there as well, that would mean the world to me too. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, guys. Bye.